Acting GDOE Superintendent Frank Cooperner says they struggled a bit to come up with an amount for what he describes as both a retention and recognition payment for non-educator staff.
But one of the things that we thought would be most appropriate and fair was an across-the-board one-time payment, similar to other districts, school districts in the states on how they use their ARP funding. There's very many ways to establish what's the appropriate amount. Should there be a higher amount? Should there be a lower amount? We thought that the $5,000 was a fair and reasonable amount to, again, recognize the employees for their dedication and continued service to the department, and as well as tie that to retention.
He says it's part retention and part recognition because GDOE does struggle with a relatively high turnover rate, and they wanted to recognize employees for their work during the pandemic who are not part of the educator and nurse pay plans. Those groups already received a raise, which will cost GDOE about $30 million more a year. But Cooperner says the timing was such that it wasn't included in their FY23 budget.
Our request went in at 268, and we kind of planned the fiscal year budget around that in terms of our contractuals, our critical contracts, the level of support, power, water, and personnel costs. So ideally, the $30 million would be a separate piece of legislation to fund the estimated personnel costs. Now, if that's included in the general appropriation of the 268, then we would like to see the respective amount increase accordingly. Otherwise, that'll be, putting us in some challenging financial position.
A $30 million shortfall, to be specific. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.